Welcome to Beyond the Broadsheet, a podcast by the Lincoln County News. We are a community newspaper based in Midcoast, Maine, and we provide the most comprehensive, in-depth coverage available anywhere of the 18 towns and one plantation that make up Lincoln County. My name is Allie Jewell, and I'm a reporter here at LCN covering the towns of Edgecombe, Whitefield, Damascotta, and Newcastle.
And my name is Christina Wallace. I'm also a reporter here at LCN, and I cover the towns of Noblesboro, Bremen, Bristol, and South Bristol.
In our last episode, we said goodbye to LCN veteran Molly Rains as she prepared for her new job in New Hampshire. This week, Mick LaBelle and Lucas McNally will preview all of this fall's sports from cross country to football.
Exciting.
But first, here are some of the top stories from the Thursday, September 4th edition of the Lincoln County News. First up, LA educator named Maine Teacher of the Year finalist. So Lincoln Academy English teacher Bridget Wright is one of 4 finalists for Maine Teacher of the Year. That news came out on Tuesday. She built Lincoln Academy's student-run writing center from the ground up last year and largely focuses on making writing accessible for students. She was the first LA teacher to ever be named Lincoln County Teacher of the Year back in May. Wright will find out if she's the state's Teacher of the Year in October, so we got to stay tuned and see how that goes for her.
That's very exciting.
Yes, yeah.
Noblesboro Bakery reopens with a new name and menu. Almost a year after the Ginger Moose Bakery shut its doors, the owners, Karen and John Kelly, opened up the Savory Moose in Noblesboro on Monday, September 1st. The Kellys closed Ginger Moose in September 2024, partially due to staffing problems. They decided they weren't quite ready to retire, so the Kellys are coming back with a scaled down operation and trimmed down their menu at the Savory Moose. So they're now, instead of focusing on sweets and things like that, they focus on savory options. And they also have some grab and go options that are available in their freezers. So definitely go check them out.
I got to try the spinach puff, and I have to say it was pretty good. I'm definitely going to be going for more sometime soon.
Yes, their famous spinach puffs are back. So it's good news.
Yes, the best news. In other news, Edgecombe addresses Oyster Farm's land use violations. So Glidden Point Oyster Farm, a beloved spot down in Edgecombe, has been a point of contention for town officials recently due to some long-standing land use violations. The Oyster Farm has been operating as a restaurant and event venue in recent years, which the town's planning board has not approved. So the Oyster Farm's recent liquor license approval back in June was contingent on a change of use being filed to the planning board to rectify the situation. And that will have to happen before the 2026 summer season was what they specified at the time. But CEO Marian Anderson said she just wants the farm's owners to come to the table so she and other town officials can aid the change of use process. I guess communication has been a little spotty. So the possibility of legal action came up during discussions at the August 9th select board meeting, but board member George Chase said, hopefully we don't need to go to court and it can be resolved. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens.
Yeah. A new pop-up Italian restaurant has opened in Waldoboro. Siblings Johnny Carachello and G. Carachello are bringing Italian food to the Waldoboro Inn every Monday night in October. The pop-up restaurant Finocchi's menu changes every week. When our very own Sarah Masters visited the restaurant, she said that she got the tomato salad, fettuccine with pesto, and chocolate pudding with mascarpone cream. She had nothing but high praises, and a lot of people seem eager to try the spot. So be prepared for a wait or to return at another Monday night. To learn more about Finocchi, you can go to their Instagram or go to thewaldoboroinn.com to find out more about future dining opportunities.
I personally probably will not make it out, even though I have thought to myself many a time, I wish that there was a closer Italian restaurant in Lincoln County. So I'm very excited about this, even though I will not be making it out on a Monday night.
Oh, that's so unfortunate.
What can you do? All the residents authorized transfer of 2 historic head tide properties earlier last week. Alna residents unanimously voted to authorize the transfer of 2 historic land parcels to the Fund to Support Historic Alna. The parcels were a posthumous gift from Richard Plunkett, who ran the Wizard of Odds and Ends antique shop on the gifted property. There's the antique store, which used to be a general store, and a barn on the 2 parcels, which date back to the historic village of Headtide. Ed Pentelary, who is treasurer of the Historic Alma Fund, said the nonprofit does not have definite plans for the properties as of now. He said the nonprofit will work on a plan, quote, consistent with Richard's wishes and with preserving the historic fabric of the Headtide district. Mm-hmm. It was basically a center for a bunch of different factories. Like there was a carding mill, there was just a ton of different industrial stuff happening there at one point. And all the places either burned down or shut down in the 20th century. But still pretty interesting and cool. So I'm glad to hear that they're working to preserve it.
Yeah, it's very exciting. Yes. The Waldoboro Select Board will be providing a letter of support for wetland restorations in North Waldoboro. The Waldoboro Select Board unanimously agreed to provide a letter of support for a grant to restore forested wetlands and uplands of the Alford Brook Preserve on Tuesday, August 25th. Georges River Land Trust will restore the 6.9-acre area. Town manager Julie Kaiser said the area is currently a hayfield and has historically been tilled and used for farming, but flooding has raised some issues. The restoration project aims to return the area to a wetland, which will hopefully help fix some of the flooding problems.
Godspeed.
Yeah, absolutely.
New Damascotta clothing store is open downtown, offering affordable, gorgeous styles. Turnstile is a brand new clothing store in downtown Damascotta, offering stylish brands at an affordable price. Owner Annie Patique has acquired a range of clothes and handbags through friends and her previous work in public relations, which are now available at the Main Street store. She said it's a priority for her inventory to be accessible to anyone looking for some great pieces. So she's keeping things at reasonable prices and trying to really make the most of the social aspect of shopping. Yeah,
awesome.
It is. She has great stuff. I'm definitely gonna stop in and do some damage.
I love that. The Waldoboro Select Board members discussed concerns about Lincoln County Television becoming a part of the county's government service. If LCTV did become a county service, board member Ruben Mahar said county taxes would keep the TV service funded, which would likely affect the town's budget. Mahar said he was concerned about the potential conflicts from a local TV station being directly connected to the government. LCTV severed ties with Wiscasset and Waldoboro in May after both towns chose not to fund the public access station. The board will further discuss the topic at their Tuesday, September 9 meeting.
There you go.
Yeah.
In more somber news, Coast Guard recovered remains of a Massachusetts man on Sunday afternoon. Mark Metzger's remains were recovered near Long Island Ledges in Bremen. Metzger, 74 of Waltham, Massachusetts, was reported missing by his friends earlier that day after they had not seen him aboard his 19-foot sailboat near Long Island. Metzger's body will be transferred to the Office of Chief Medical Examiner in Augusta for examination. The Maine Marine Patrol is investigating Metzger's death, but there haven't been any updates as of Wednesday, September 3rd. Mm.
For our character of the county this week, we have Jen Cassad, who built a life by digging deep. This is by our own Sherwood Olin. Jennifer Cassad is a noted artist and full-time shellfish harvester. Cassad has dug for clams on Lincoln County's mudflats since she was a teenager. She studied art at the University of Maine, Augusta, where she found drawing and photography were her favorite artistic mediums. Recreating historical photos as handmade drawings is Cassad's specialty, a style she described as photorealism. Cassad has juggled a number of passions while raising her daughter, Elizabeth, like lobster fishing, and even creating a mother-daughter art exhibition, which is so sweet. Right? To learn more about Jen Cassad, pick up a copy of the paper or go to lcnme.com.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very sweet story, worth a read.
Absolutely.
And now Mick and Lucas will give us the rundown on the fall school sports scene.
Okay, we're here to preview the fall sports season. I'm Lucas McNally. I'm the producer of This Year podcast and run the site mainbasketballrankings.com. And with me is sports, is it editor or reporter?
Reporter,
Mick LaBelle, who you can see on sidelines all around Lincoln County with a big camera.
Yeah, I'm super excited to get back out there on the sidelines.
And the rain has come back for the start of the season. We had a drought all summer, and now it's raining again.
Yeah, I'd say today's events might be questionable, with the exception of I believe there's some volleyball. Or no, that's on Monday. Sorry.
Yeah, and they already played. Well, volleyball already played. We're recording this on Friday, and volleyball already played. And I mean, soccer's going to play in the rain.
Yeah,
unless
it
it's
is soccer today.
like the Eagles-Cowboys game last night that had lightning. And they had to stop for like an hour.
Yeah, that was it for me. Bedtime. I'm not taking an hour delay at 11 o'clock.
Yeah,
let's come back at midnight and see what happens.
Yeah, let's check it in the morning.
Yeah, right. Which is what I did.
Yeah. So speaking of football, let's start there. So we're going to go through all the teams in Lincoln County, starting with football. So we have what? We have two football teams, right?
Correct. At the high school level. Yep, we got Madomic Valley. They're in Class C. One thing that's different this year is they did not break it out into a north and a south.
Right. It's just the one Class C.
Yeah.
Because the reason for that was that the South was winning all the state championships. And so what was happening was the South Regional Final was basically the state championship game. And the football guys all got together and they said, hey, what if we just do one thing so we can have maybe like the two best teams in this actual state championship game?
Yeah, we'll see how that impacts Madomic Valley. Coach Snell already did highlight that their schedule could be a little bit more challenging this year. I think they picked up some southern teams in their schedule.
They did.
So, yeah, that's a new twist. Probably a good one, like you said.
He was on my podcast and he said they would go 0-8. That was his prediction, 0-8.
Oh, no,
so.
no. They're not going to be 0-8.
So, yeah.
In fact, my prediction is probably pretty similar to last year, despite a tougher schedule. I do think that they're a little bit stronger this year. They did graduate some key players, but they have some guys that'll be bigger, faster, older, smarter, all those kinds of things. I don't think I noticed any new players that are going to make an impact like Jaden Ruiz did last year as a freshman.
Well, that's not the normal sort of impact you get as a freshman. That's sort of every 10 years or so. If you're lucky, you get that sort of impact as a freshman.
Very true. A non-exciting addition to the lineup is Liam Feely, who's a tackle.
Ooh.
So one thing I know Ryan Snell was excited about was his offensive line and that he had 4 out of 5 back. And apparently Liam Feely has done a good job so far slotting into that position where they had someone graduate. So.
Well, continuity to the offensive line is like a football coach's dream.
It is.
Assuming it's good continuity and it's not like, oh, these guys again. Jeez.
Yeah, no, he was really excited about his offensive line. And they got a lot of weapons. As long as the line's playing well, they do have some dangerous players on offense and some solid players on defense as well.
So there's Ruiz, who, if you don't know, is one. Press Herald had him as one of the players to watch in Southern Maine. He's a sophomore. He had a massive freshman year. And so it's the sort of he came on faster, I think, than anyone expected, and now everyone expects him. But what are the other impact players?
Well, I'll just mention Jaden's stats because I have them right in front of me. He had 1,407 yards rushing and 18 touchdowns. And that, mind you, is in 9 games. So he's averaging like over 150 yards a game, basically.
Which is crazy.
It is crazy. But along with that, they have the two Pease brothers, Grady and Seamus. It feels like they've been around forever, but this is their senior year. Both of them are great on offense and defense. They're state champion wrestlers. And really strong, big kids, great kids too, by the way.
Yeah, Snell told me that the impact of wrestling in the program has been really big. Because it makes sense if you think about it for more than 5 seconds that a wrestler would be a pretty good linebacker or something like that, because a lot of, carryover skills.
Yeah, which is they're awesome on defense. And another wrestler, Cole Bales, is another returning senior on their team, and he's a lineman on offense and defense, and will make a huge difference for them. So yeah, they do tap into their really strong wrestling program.
And the quarterback is Wyatt Simmons again, right?
Yeah, and he's back after playing just about every down last year. They trying to think if they subbed in.
They did in the regional final.
A little bit. Oh, yeah.
In the regional final, they went to Gabe Lash.
Yeah. Other than that, throughout the season, Wyatt got a lot of snaps, a lot of experience. They don't pass the ball a lot. I talked with Coach a little bit about that after one of their scrimmages, and I think they will open up the playbook a little bit more this year with Wyatt back with more experience. So I'm excited about that. I mean, I like to see passing plays.
Yeah.
And
Sling it.
having said that, he did mention that it'll probably be a little bit more of a shorter yardage routes and screen passes and things that simulate running plays more or less. But yeah, he's back and he's looking a little bit bigger and stronger. And so, yeah, I expect improvement at the quarterback position, improvement at the running back position with Jaden back for another year. He's been training really hard. Wide receivers, they have Logan Vigu. He's back again, experienced guy, and Josh Blake, who caught quite a few passes last year when they did throw the ball. So yeah, they have all the tools as far as running backs and receivers and quarterbacks to
make a run,
play good football. Yeah,
make a run at it. I would think the semifinals is a reasonable expectation, and then it might just be about what sort of draw do you get.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I could easily see them going 6-2 in the regular season again, if not maybe 7-1. I have a feeling that expecting an undefeated season is,
or an 0-8 season.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. No, they're good. They're a good team. They looked really sharp in a scrimmage against Skowhegan. I guess it's a couple weeks back now, but yeah, I was impressed. And yeah, they lost some guys, Porter Gahagan and Donnie Havener and Walker Simmons and Gabe Lash. But most of the core is back, and they have a great coaching staff and program there. So I expect them to do really well. I'm excited. They play tomorrow against Old Town.
Old Town, hopefully before it rains.
Yeah, or it'll be,
fingers crossed.
that field could be a mess.
Yeah.
It was scorched earth with a lot of brown, potentially dead grass, although they do a good job trying to keep that field up. But yeah, it's been pretty dry here. So we'll see if torrential rains will create it.
It'll be a mess. And so the other team is Boothbay, right, which is an 8-man team.
Yeah, an 8-man football is really fun to watch if you haven't seen it. There's a little bit more offense. The field is narrower, but it's still the same length. But obviously there's less players, but I do find it's pretty exciting. And last year they were 4-4. They got absolutely crushed in the playoffs by Old Orchard,
Oh well,
who's
Orchard.
amazing. I mean, they're
ridiculous.
They're good. They should. I don't know if they're back at 8-man this year. Maybe they've moved
They
up.
are 8-man devotees.
Yeah, so they're going to stick with
Their
that.
coach is like a big proponent of 8-man, so I think that's a thing where they're in 8-man no matter what.
Gotcha.
I think
Okay.
I'm just
Well, that was a mismatch. But so for Booth Bay, the good news is they were worried about their turnout this year. They thought they'd get about 15 players, and they got 30,
oh there you go.
including a bunch from Wiscasset High School who they co-op with. And they do have a good core of returning players and some good athletes. They lost 3 really dynamic players, having said that. So it does make my prediction a little bit challenging, including their quarterback, running back, and wide receiver. So kind of their whole offense.
Just the quarterback and the running back and the wide receiver.
Yeah,
Who
minor
needs
details.
Who needs them?
But they do have some really good athletes that play other sports really effectively. Griffin Yerins, he's a good tennis player. He's a senior. He'll be one of their leaders. They have a lineman that's played since he was a youngster, Keegan Murray, that'll really help on offense and defense on their line. And Sean Gamage is a really good linebacker on defense, hard hitter. I guess he's going to play some quarterback along with Miles Murray.
Well, they need a quarterback now because
Yeah, thankfully, towards the end of the season, they did start playing Miles Murray, and he's a young guy. I don't know if he was a freshman last year. I think so, but he is kind of a young guy. He was little last year. He's grown, obviously, like guys do. And so between him and Gamage, they should be in good shape at quarterback. But yeah, it's kind of hard to predict when you lose 3 really strong players, even with good coaching and good numbers. I would expect they'll be around the same as that 4-4 record, and
then the
probably
trick
make
is
a playoff.
the trick is to not draw Old Orchard Beach in the first round, because then you're just going down for a trip to the pier.
Yeah, and it's funny that you mentioned that, because Coach Ed Crocker did mention that he's hopeful this year that they'll get a home playoff game, which obviously would mean they wouldn't play Old Orchard Beach. So that was one of his goals, is at least, to kind of get out of that situation.
Is Funtown still open that time of year? It's like,
I don't think so. There wasn't a lot of fun. That game,
if you're going to lose 80-0 or whatever it was, then you want something else. Plan something else for the trip.
It was something like 45-0 at halftime. I know that.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, it was wasn't pretty.
And we're not dogging on Booth Bay. It's just the Old Orchard Beach is a juggernaut.
Yeah,
and it's
they kind of don't belong there,
right?
So, they look pretty good. I'm excited to get down there. Like I said, 8-man football is really fun. There's 3 linemen instead of 5, and just that opens the offense up a lot. High scoring.
And then there's the eternal debate of whether you should play 8-man or 11-man, which you wind up any coach in the state with that and just let him go for 20 minutes.
Yeah, I do think I'm a fan of the 8-man for these small schools, because I did see a small bench for Booth Bay last year, and so they really don't have the numbers, and you start getting into injuries in football, which are common, even minor injuries that can really affect your ability to play. So I like it. Like I said, I think it's fun. There's a lot of offense and big plays.
But then you have some teams, and we won't mention Camden, who have more than enough people to play 11-man, have maybe more players than some 11-man programs, and yet still play 8-man.
That's interesting, because I did talk with, and I'm jumping ahead a little to soccer, but there's 8-man soccer also. And Wiscasset had such a good turnout this year for their girls program that I understand that next year they'll have to go to 11 from 8. Because there's a rule, apparently, at least for soccer, which might be different than football.
Probably is.
Yeah.
Football seems to operate in their own little fiefdom.
Yes.
in a lot of ways.
And I think, like you said, there's some people so invested in it, like Old Orchard Beach, that they're going to stick to it. But apparently, there's a little bit more fluidity to teams going in and out of it for soccer.
Well, I would guess for football, there's a more incentive for the MPA to keep it because there's so many schools that are using it to just reinvent their program or keep their program going. And it's harder to get kids to go out for football than it is to find an extra kid for soccer, because it's like, here's a pair of cleats, kid, just stand in the corner.
Right, which is interesting.
As
with
opposed to
Boothbay.
this guy's going to hit you really hard.
And I wonder if Boothbay had to dig into their archives of equipment, probably from when they used to have an 11-man
For the extra
program.
jerseys.
I mean, their tradition is I know that they used to be a really great, football program years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly when things transitioned and kind of tailed off into this 8-man for their program. I have a feeling it's been several years, but at one time, yeah, they were a strong 11-man
Yeah.
program.
All right. So let's move on to soccer. We have, I think, pretty much everyone's playing soccer, right?
Yes.
As Mick turns around and goes to get his other folder. He's got like 11 folders here. He's very prepared. I have no folders. I have my phone in front of me, which is off. So that's the level of, if you're looking for the expertise here, it's Mick, and then I'm just making things up.
Well, in the fall, it is a little challenging because there are 6 different sports all going on in Lincoln County, and all of our teams play now that we have volleyball. Mm-hmm. And I did see something interesting I was going to ask you about.
Okay.
I saw esports listed
Yeah,
on the
esports
MPA
is a
site.
thing now.
Is it for this season?
Oh, it's been like 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it fall?
MCI.
Is it a fall program?
I don't know when they do it.
I'm surprised that
I don't think it matters. They don't see the sun.
It's-
You can do whatever.
yeah, right. Any time of year. I wouldn't be surprised if Lincoln Academy jumped into that just because they seem to like to offer a lot of different things. Well, Madomic too, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sean Stackhouse has been the big proponent of that. He's he's the public address announcer in Bangor for
okay.
the tournament and for a lot of UMaine events. And he's a big esports guy. He's like nationally a big deal not as a player, but as a like esports broadcaster for broadcasting esports, which I think is a thing people do.
Yeah.
Like in my day, it was you'd go over to someone's house and they like make you watch them play Mario, and it's like, dude, this is pretty boring.
Yeah, right.
But can I play? And they're like,
Yeah,
no, I gotta show you this shortcut.
Give me the joystick.
Yeah, give me the joystick, and you never get the joystick. And you're like, can we go home?
Yeah, right.
But now people like go out of their way to watch people play Mario.
And hey, bring it on. The more sports, the merrier.
I guess.
I was at motocross this summer. What else did I cover? Some mountain bike racing, and
I mean, we could
there's
ask
a
the
lot
question:
of sports out there.
is watching someone play video games a sport?
Apparently, it is. I mean, that's
all right. I have opinions on that, but we'll move on to soccer. Who do you want to start with?
let's start at the top, so to speak. Let's talk about Madomic Valley's girls soccer team.
So both Madomic teams went to a regional final last year.
Yes.
5 of the 5 Madomic teams that went to a regional final last year, and 1 went to a state game. But the soccer teams were 2 of them.
And most of the girls soccer team is back. So not only do I expect them to go to that regional final, but
Are you predicting them to win the whole thing? Do you think softball? Are you saying
I'm going to predict them to win North.
Are you saying
Class
here
B North
on the record that the softball team has opened the floodgates of Madomic Valley Gold Balls?
I think that there is something to having,
because we'll put you on the record.
athletes win a championship and then come back the next year. So I'd say the juniors, sophomores, freshmen that have gotten a taste of that. Mm-hmm. There's something about that experience and growing from that and being confident and
I'm of the belief that it's,
and I think that's I do.
I'm of the belief that it goes across sports.
Yeah.
Like even just going to, let's use basketball for example, like going to basketball games and just being at the tournament every year and going to those games, it sort of sets the expectation higher than if you're at a school where they don't make the tournament ever.
Yeah.
And you're just like, well, the season's over. after 18 games,
Right.
whatever. And so, but when you get in that championship level, atmosphere, I think that I think that carries over.
Definitely. And just the experience and the pressure for the actual players, that are coming back that performed, under that microscope. And especially softball, it gets a lot of attention, and there were a lot of people at
A lot of people there
that championship. So yeah, and a lot of those players
are on
also,
the softball team.
yeah,
Are on the
soccer team. So yeah, I really like this team. I did see them kind of lay an egg during a scrimmage and not have a really strong game, but that was preseason, and I think that's
Get it out of the way.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing, to struggle and have the coach be frustrated and maybe being a little
Gives them something to coach.
loud, as they should be. So yeah, but as far as like the pieces that you need to have a really good team, they have all the pieces. They have a 6-foot goalie who's back for her senior year. They've got the top scorer in KBAC,
That's Scarlett Flint.
and Scarlett Flint. Chloe Fox is their goalie that I mentioned. Scarlett Flint up front, elite scorer. Love to watch her play. She's very aggressive, very assertive, very intense. And I think that that's a piece they need, and that's a big piece that a championship team needs. Haley Chandler's another, all conference type player at the midfield. So they got that locked down. They've got really good defense back. I think they did lose a couple players on defense, so that's an area I'll be keeping a close eye on. But having Haley at the midfield will help shore that up anyway, and she dips back and helps out. Also up front, Grace Townsend, good scorer. Back from last year, coach's daughter. She's a really good athlete, so I expect her to have another big year. And Anna Cheeseman's back for her second year. Sorry, she's a sophomore. She was good as a freshman last year, so she'll have an impact up front. Just a lot of weapons. A good freshman in Hattie Brown. So they have kind of some new talent coming into their realm as well. But just a really good team, well coached. He's been there. I don't know. He's won hundreds of games.
Yeah.
So it's just a really good program. So I'm excited to see how they do. Soccer's quirky. Sometimes you can play a great game and the ball's not going in the net, finishing wise, but having Scarlett and her style of play, I think, overcomes a lot of that soccer quirkiness. I mean, if I'm going to a Madama game, I'm expecting her to get 2-3 goals at least.
All right.
Except obviously against some of the stronger teams. So
All right. So
we'll see. But yeah, I like them and to win that Class B North. And they were the number 1 seed last year. They went 12-2. So I expect something like that again, if not better. Which is, it's hard to improve on 12-2.
They run into Herman again.
Yeah. And even that game, well, I think they suffered a tough loss actually in that game, now that I recall.
Yeah. The Herman, if I'm remembering correctly, Herman had a really, really good player who was a freshman, I think.
Yeah, so they'll be back.
So Herman's probably, they might just be a rematch.
Yeah. So that'll be tough when they get to that point, but I do think they'll get there.
All right. And so then let's look at Lincoln Academy.
Lincoln Academy has a lot of really good athletes. In talking with Coach Ober, they don't get a lot of like travel soccer players in the summer. They do have a couple that stand out, but last year they had a little bit of a rough season. They were 5-7-3. They lost in the first round of the playoffs to Freeport, who's a pretty good team, but they got smoked 4-0 in that. But they did make the playoffs, and I think they're going to creep into the playoffs again this year. But honestly, just looking at kind of a young roster and no superstar soccer players. I mean, they have athletes that excel in other sports. But I think it's going to be I wouldn't call it tough sledding or whatever that term is, but
Right.
if they could break 500 in the regular season, that would be great. Class B South is a really tough division, which is why even with that record, they had enough heel points to.
I mean, South is
get in
really
there.
tricky in
Yeah.
soccer.
So again, this year, so who stands out? They've got their goalie Maggie Thompson back, which is key. That's awesome to have a senior experienced goalie who's a really good athlete like she is. And up front, they have Rowan Coffin, plays midfield and forward, but she's a little bit like Scarlett Flint with that, just wants to score so bad. So she's definitely a really fast player as well. So I think they'll lean on those two players a lot. Other than that, it's a pretty young roster. Not a ton of varsity experience. They graduated a bunch. So yeah, I'd say somewhere around that 6-8 record, something like that is probably about right. Hopefully they'll make 500.
And then do Boothbay and Wiscasset co-op for this?
They do, but I think this year it's at least primarily Wiscasset athletes.
I know on my
their
schedule
team.
it's Wiscasset because that's where they're playing the games.
Yeah, last year the best player on that team was a Boothbay student, though. So I'm
always curious on these co-ops, like who do you give credit to?
Well, usually there are 90% of the team is one school, and then there's just a couple kids, and that was the case last year. So I forgot to ask that question to the Wiscasset coach Chelsea Taylor when I watched their game yesterday. But so yeah, Wiscasset, they play in the 8-man or 8-girl league. And they're on the rebound. The program fizzled out a few years ago, I think during COVID. So they're building back. And they also were pleasantly surprised with the turnout. They got 20 players that signed up. Almost so many that they're trying to get some JV games. They didn't expect that. So yeah, so that much like that Boothbay football story, I think the Wiscasset
Didn't they play a
girls soccer-
JV schedule 2 years ago?
That's a great question. Yes, they did. Yeah, so that's when they first started getting the program back. Last year, they competed in this 8-man league. One thing that I thought was kind of funny from yesterday, actually, at the game, and they lost to Pine Tree Academy in overtime. Great game. The girls played really well. But the thing that struck me is the field shrunk. They talk about moving the goalposts as a term.
Yeah.
So the field is much shorter and narrower.
It's shorter too.
Shorter and narrower. I get it. It makes sense. But literally in the boys' game, the goalkeeper can boot the ball, after they make a save and all the way to the other goal.
Oh.
So hopefully this year I might see some.
See a goalie score?
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Is that worth more? That should be worth more.
It should be.
I think it should be worth more.
And that's a little quirk again when you get into these variations on traditional sports with 8-man soccer.
Isn't it worth more in foosball? Is it foosball where if the goalie scores it's 2 points?
I don't think so.
Okay. I'm thinking of something.
But it is a little bit like foosball in that now it's like a smaller field. It's compressed and there is more offense and more scoring typically, which I like because soccer, those 0-0 scores get kind of old.
That can be rough.
And for example, the Pine Tree Academy had a really good team that played the Wiscasset boys. Oh man, they were moving. It takes one great pass to free somebody up, and the goal's right there. You know what I mean?
Okay, because it's so quick.
Yeah. So I enjoy it. Again, much like 8-man football, I kind of like the 8-man soccer. So anyway, Wiscasset growing their program. They got a bunch of good middle school players, a couple that made an impact right away. Abriana Chadwick was good in that game, and Adriana Farrell was good. So yeah, they've added some good players, and they have players back. The Marshall sisters, Maya and Olivia, each scored a goal, and they're back and good players. Also, Jesse Reinbold is back, and Michelle Farron is back also, and she's good. So, and the goalie Addison Eckert. So I think that they're going to do pretty good this year. Last year they were 5-7-2, lost in the first round of the playoffs. I could see them having a winning record in this league. There's actually 2 different divisions of 8-man. There's the large school and small school.
Large and small.
Yeah, so they play in that small school division, and I think they only graduated 1 player from last year, so they're back and better. Oh, it does indicate on their roster which ones go to Boothbay, and they have 2 players out of 20 that go to Boothbay.
So it's
we
mostly
were
Wisconsin.
right on. It was 90%. And they have 7 freshmen, so that's a good sign for building the program in the future. But yeah, they look good.
All right, and let's just jump over to the boys and just stay in Wisconsin. While we're at it.
Boys.
Are they also co-oping?
They took a hit yesterday, I'll tell you.
Did they?
Yeah, they co-op. Last year, I do know they have at least 1 Boothbay player. So yeah, their roster does not show which school they go to, so I'm not sure. But they have at least one kid, and he scored in the first half. Titan Lewis.
Oh,
Yeah, he scored their only goal. They were down 5-1 at halftime.
ouch.
But it was 5-0 after like 10 minutes. So again, part of that is the short field thing, because the field shrunk by like 25 yards in length and
Right.
10 on each side.
So the scoring's going to go
So
up. In
even
that situation.
and even they were kind of, I think, caught off guard at some of the different dynamics with a smaller field. And Pine Tree Academy, man, they were good. They were really good, really sharp, very talented team, and they were last year too. I remember. I think they might even be the champions of the league. I'd have to check.
Oh, I don't remember.
But they're up there. They were very impressive. So it was hard to tell, how good or bad, the Wisconsin team is. Generally speaking, yeah, they graduated a lot of key players. They have their goalie back, Landon Shirey, who's a good basketball player.
See?
Yeah. And he's pretty intense. You know him.
Yeah, I've seen him play.
Yeah. And Dylan Rhines, he scored a bunch of goals for them last year. And Tegan Marr. Those are the 3 players that are back that'll make an impact, I think, for them. But they're not like trained soccer players. They're just out having fun, which is part of why I also enjoy going to these games. It's not like serious, technical soccer. It's just
People running around.
yeah, it's like, intramural kind of like,
Gotcha.
let's go have fun and play soccer. In fact, there was a kid who showed up and he's like, hey, can I play today? And the coach is like, nah, you got to go to a practice before you can play, or several. So, and it was like that last year too. I remember when the first game, there was a kid that showed up.
It's like at halftime, like, hey, can I be on the team now?
Yeah. Right. Which is a little more casual than some of the other sports that I cover. So, but yeah, they're probably going to have
doing that and like going up to like Nick DePatsy.
Yeah. Hey, put me in.
Can I play on the team?
Yeah, right. But yeah, I think they're going to have a tough time as far as like making the playoffs or anything like that. But they have a new coach who coached at the middle school last year, James Andretta. So it's new life and new energy into the program, but I think they got a ways to go, unfortunately. Unlike the girls, it's interesting, same school, but the girls soccer seems to be really coming back, and the boys soccer is more of a work in progress. We'll see if Andretta makes a difference and can keep get more momentum going. But right now, it's kind
You'll
of
see that in big schools too, where like Falmouth, for example, is one of the bigger schools and one of the better resourced schools in the state. Their boys basketball program is amazing. It's one of the best in the state, and their girls program is abysmal.
yeah, it's weird
And
how that can happen.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows what's going on? I mean, other than the fact that they have a Hall of Fame coach on the boys program, so there's that. But
Yeah, that could be part of it. But yeah, I think they got a little ways to go on the boys' side.
All right, so let's go to Lincoln. We'll just wrap it back around.
Lincoln is an enigma.
They've lost all of their Hunt twins,
They lost a dozen or more players from last year for the second year in a row.
which is the same as the basketball team.
Yeah. So it's a big turnover. They get tons of international students that step in, which is the case this year. So it's interesting. Some of the guys that I thought were really strong in the scrimmage that I went to were not the ones that Coach Jeffrey Burrows highlighted to me
He was
as
sandbagging you.
I don't know, but
He's like this media people. They're
yeah,
gonna
he doesn't
tell
want
all
me
our
getting the word
secrets.
out about exactly about
fake
these
news.
guys. But so they're going to be really hard to predict how they do. I don't think they're going to match that 8-4-2 record last year. They lost to Cape Elizabeth 4-3 down at Cape in a really exciting game. They just don't. I don't think they have the offensive firepower, that they have in the past. They always get great athletes from other sports that step up and shine. But and this year they have a couple tennis players actually, James Hanley and George Siegel, that they'll be counting on a lot on offense. But I just don't think they unfortunately have the experience that they've had in past years, or quite the athletes that they've had in past years. Because last year they were, as you mentioned, with the Hunt twins and others. So I don't know. I think it's going to be a challenge for them to meet that 8-4-2. I'll go out on a limb and say they're a 500 team.
Okay.
Still gets them, I think, into the playoffs.
Probably
They're
gets
in
them
a tough Class B South. But yeah, they just don't have the big names, and even in goal, they have a new guy that I'm not familiar with yet. So I think he played a little bit for them, Joey Crooker. But
Because one of the Hunt
good
twins
player,
was,
and it's
was the
exactly,
goalie, yeah.
So so anyway, they got a lot of question marks, but the international players, like I said,
who knows? Who knows?
they
if you get
made
there.
a difference. They were really good ball handlers, and I think that's what's going to help boost them to kind of that 500 record.
Cool. And then let's finish with Madonna Valley.
Madonna Valley, another team, lost a lot of big names to all conference players, but they return a good core. But beyond that core, it drops off pretty fast to some really young, inexperienced, smaller players, honestly.
And the two players they lost were really, really good.
Yeah, Mo.
And V.
Yeah, and V. And actually another guy as well, Power. Nevin
Power?
Yeah. Yes.
Did he
yeah.
graduate?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
Yep.
Thought he was a junior.
Yeah, so he's gone. So who's back? They have Juan Carlson back. He looked really good on their defensive end. They've got Luke Cheeseman back at midfield. He played a strong scrimmage that I went to. Dima Cheeseman's in goal, which is good news, bad news, because he's a great offensive player.
Okay,
But
I was like, what's the bad news?
well, they can't put him up front. They don't have a backup goalie yet, and I know that they're really working hard to find one. He volunteered a couple of years ago when they had a gap there. Yeah, his freshman year, his claim to fame, I think, is he scored like the winning goal that put them into like a regional final or something like that.
So if you're an aspiring goalie in Waldoboro,
they got a spot
go.
for you.
They're looking for you.
Yeah, they would love to get Dima up front, but so unfortunately, he's probably their best scorer, and he's playing goalie. But you
got to have a goalie.
You got to, and he's really good in goal. So tough call there for the coach. Diego Simmons is back as a senior. He's a good player up front. And Noah Swartz is another guy to highlight on defense, midfield. Big, strong kid. Good technical player. I think he is like a summer travel player that's really into soccer. Robert Anderson's back. Zach Curtis. also on defense. Liam Dowdy was a little guy last year as a freshman.
Yeah.
Man, he's grown.
Oh,
And he looks good up front. So they're going to be counting on that kid probably to punch some goals in for him.
there's not like a basketball player who could play goalie, like someone who's like what
That's
about
a
Mason?
really good point. Actually, I'm looking at the roster. I don't see any basketball.
Well, Luke Cheeseman.
Yeah, Luke Cheeseman. That's it.
I mean,
Wow.
Mason's brother is a professional soccer
Yeah,
player.
yeah.
Like, you would think does he not play soccer?
No, he plays golf.
Okay.
Last year he switched, much to the chagrin of Brian Campbell.
Because I would
the
imagine
Madonna coach.
he would be pretty good.
Yeah, he was. Because I remember him from back then, and as a sophomore, I guess it was. Yeah, but he's a good golfer now.
Okay.
It takes a couple years, but yeah, we'll touch on that.
They
here in
need
a
a
second.
goalie, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think the goalie thing is really what could cost them a deeper run last year. So they went to the regional final.
Regional final, yep. Lost to
And-
John Baps.
Yeah, and it was 1-1 at halftime. So they were, a half away from going to compete for the gold ball.
Yeah.
But I much as I love the coach and their team and they're great kids, but it's just going to be tough. They are in Class B North,
yeah.
which is a little bit of an easier path per se, but just it's tough without the
So Operation Find a Goalie.
offense. Yeah, I think they're going to be starved a little on the offensive side of the ball.
All right. So then what does that take us to? Because you have the list of the order we were going to go in.
Yeah, well, we're going to cover cross country.
Cross country. My
And
old
so
sport.
the big news there is that Karen Higgins transferred from Booth Bay to Lincoln Academy.
Okay.
Big pickup for Lincoln Academy.
They got in the transfer portal.
Yeah, I guess.
All right.
And a huge hole for Booth Bay. Unfortunately, that's a real hit for their program.
And that's a program. Lincoln Academy's cross country program is pretty strong.
It is, and it turns out that they did graduate a lot of good athletes this past year, but Karen's going to make a huge difference. I mean, the way the point scoring goes, if
Right.
you get a first place in a race, that's a
That's huge.
huge chunk of points. And so Karen Higgins last year was the Class C state runner-up. And now she's
Moving up to
bigger,
B.
older, faster, been training all summer, and she's just a great runner. She blew away the competition at the Panther 2-miler that I went to last weekend. She won by a minute,
Really?
which in a 2-miler, so it's
Yeah.
almost like winning a cross-country race, a normal one, which is, I think, 5K.
Is it a 5K? I don't remember.
So it's, it'd be like winning by a minute and a half in a 5K or more. So, there wasn't anyone even
yeah, that's a lot.
remotely close.
That's a lot for a 2-miler in cross country.
Yeah. So she's going to obviously be the star of that Lincoln girls team. And they do have Chloe Anderson, who was also, one of the strong runners that competed in the state championship. Other than that, it does kind of drop off as far as experience. But those two will carry them a little ways.
Yeah.
As far as the team thing goes, but it's kind of
It's
it's quirky because it's kind of an individual sport,
But
and
not
then
really.
Yeah, right. I mean,
And it's 5 runners for scoring or 4?
I believe it's 5. Yeah, it is 5.
So
yeah, you
that's-
have to have 5, which is the problem for Madomic that we'll get into. They only have 4.
They only have 4.
So
Wow.
they never get a team score.
Right.
Boys or girls, they have 4 on each roster.
Wow.
Yeah. Huh. So yeah, I believe it is the 5 for the team score. Yeah.
That used to be, yeah, that's surprising
Yeah.
because that's a pretty strong program overall.
Right. So yeah, and the girls, let's jump
Yeah.
we'll do boys at Lincoln too. They have some returning runners that give them a good shot at a good team at the team level as far as going to states and things like that. Owen Card, Thomas McHale, Nathaniel Clark, and Alba Gandler. They were all in the state championship race last year, and they got a new guy as well, Harrison White, who moved here from Utah.
From Utah.
And he was fast. He went toe to toe with the Daigle kid from Atomic. And
Connor's brother.
I believe Connor beat him by 1/100th of a second in the 2 miler. Yeah, it was close. They were.
Wait, not
It was
Connor.
a, it was a photo finish. Sorry, Colby.
Colby, yeah.
Yeah,
Because
Colby
Connor's
Daigle.
at UMaine.
Yes, correct. And he
Leading them
won
to
a race.
Yeah, they
that
beat
was amazing.
Army.
Yeah, and we could transition to that. I mean, cross country wise, Lincoln's going to have another really good year, boys and girls. Actually, yeah, let's just finish out the girls.
do it.
Or all the. No, let's go to Madomic.
All right.
So
Jumping around.
yeah, I think Colby Daigle. Yeah, he looked good. He got 6th or 7th in that Panther 2 miler, and there were 6 schools.
Okay.
And then there were a couple other schools that had like 1 or 2 runners.
Right.
So I guess technically it was 8 or 9 schools. But anyway, he got 7th place. Looked, he was right up there.
Is he a senior this year?
I believe he's a junior this year.
Okay.
Yep, he's a junior. They had another sophomore. Yep, he's a junior. Sophomore is Grady Emerson was good too. He finished up there. I can't remember exactly, but in the 2 miler, he was competitive. So between those two, they have 2 good competitive runners, but unfortunately, they won't get a team score anyway. So it's really they're running for themselves. And yeah, I could see Colby qualifying for states and doing well. And Grady is a little younger. I haven't seen him run enough, but I know the coach, George Gould, who's in his 39th season.
Wow.
Yeah. Is pretty high on Grady as far as, an up and coming runner. On the girls' side, of course, we have the Collmore twins.
Right.
Super nice kids.
So this
Love to watch
kid
them
who
run.
transferred in from Booth Bay beat the Collmore twins by a minute.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
In a 2 mile.
All right. 'Cause
Beat Ava in particular, who's, really.
really fast.
Yes. So that's how fast Karen
Jeez.
Higgins is. I mean, she's top 5 in the state.
Okay.
In any class, A, B, C. So if you haven't seen her run, it is fun to watch her. She's all business. Just smooth runner. It's hard to believe she's going that fast. But
Yeah.
she's flying. And another girl that competed well was Maya Catapano Kangas. And she was kind of in the middle of the pack in that race, but she shows potential.
Right.
Sophomore also. But other than that, yeah, Madomic just has 4 boys and 4 girls. And you contrast that with Lincoln Academy, who had 65 athletes this year.
For cross country?
For cross country. The largest team they've ever had. They usually get about 55 or 60. So, but 65.
65 for cross country?
65. Yeah.
That's insane.
It is.
Maybe some of them should play soccer.
Well, you have to think that is impacting, especially the girls program that hasn't been quite as strong as the boys soccer at Lincoln. But yeah, that's definitely
Might be overkill.
Yeah,
If you
it's a
were like
factor.
running a business and you're like, we have 65 widgets over here, and this widget department's not doing so great. We're like, hey, we put some of these widgets over here.
Yeah.
And maybe,
You got to convince the kids. I know that Lincoln has built a really strong culture. Like you can see them doing yoga before practice.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's more than just cross country and running. It's definitely like a social.
it's their own run club.
Yeah, and it's cool.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. It's very different than other sports that you see. It's not as cutthroat competitive. Although who knows, Karen Higgins might change that.
Yeah, she might. She's like, none of this kumbaya. Let's go faster.
She trains hard.
I'm gonna do repeats up Academy Hill.
Yeah.
While you guys are doing yoga.
Right. So segueing to the Seahawks,
Mm-hmm.
who are now Higgins-less.
Right.
That's a rebuild. That was a tough blow.
That was my guess.
That's a tough blow. In particular, on the girls' side, they do have Rose Campbell, who is a sprinter in track and field.
Okay.
And if she can transition to kind of the cross country running, I don't know if she did
That's
it last
not
year. I
as
don't
easy
think
as
so.
transition as people think.
Yeah, but that'll be the key for them. And she is a senior. Other than that, she was really the only one in the top 50 of that miler on the girls' side. So
They say Usain Bolt can't run a mile.
oh, is that right?
Yeah, like he never runs that far because he's just doing the explosive stuff.
Yeah.
For the sprints, and he just never like his training involves no running of distance at all.
Yeah, I was surprised that she was in the lower middle of that pack, just because I've seen her sprint and she's a really good.
It's a whole different thing. It's a whole different biomechanical thing.
KVAC, top 8 sprinter. So yeah, that their success will pivot a little bit on that. On the boys' side, they do have a semi-elite runner who's a junior, so he's still got some growing to do, and he could emerge this year as one of the top runners, and that's AJ Crocker.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's I believe he competed in the state championship last year as a sophomore, and he got, I believe, 7th in the. He was behind Daigle and White.
Okay.
It was really close between a Lincoln runner, a Madomic runner, and then AJ was right
Booth
there.
Bay run in the same thing as Madomic?
No,
Lincoln?
great question. They're in Class C.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
But do they run the race at the same time?
sometimes.
Oh, okay.
Not usually. They're actually usually at different
Right.
locations. But you know what? I believe Booth Bay's in a different conference. They do the Mountain Valley. I
Yeah.
might be mixing that up with track and field, but I think for cross country as well.
I think so.
But again, we're jumping into the fresh season here,
Right. So who knows?
Going back, I'd have to check on that. And they have Ben Gapsky, who's from Wiscasset, who is a good track and field athlete.
Who's running for Booth Bay?
Yeah.
So
it's
Wiscasset's-
a cooperative. It's Booth Bay, Wiscasset.
Why do you need a cooperative if you don't even need
For
enough for a
cross
team?
country. I know.
Just did they not have any singlets?
Oh no, they have enough for a team.
Oh, they have enough for a team.
Yeah,
Okay.
they lost Karen Higgins, but they have looks like about 15 athletes on their roster.
Okay.
Yeah, and they have enough to score.
All right.
But they got last place, for example, at the 2-miler as a team.
Right. Okay.
I think the boys got 5th and the girls got 6th.
All right, moving on. What's next? We
What
are
is next?
shockingly enough going over on time. I know. Hopefully you were sitting down or you didn't drive your car into a telephone pole if you're listening to this while you're driving, but we are going long on time
No.
again.
Well, field hockey.
Field hockey, Lincoln Academy's field hockey team won
Yeah, that's
last
a
night.
success
They beat
story.
Winslow.
Yeah, they look good. They have a new assistant coach who's the uncle of Lindsay Herring, the head coach.
Oh, he helped. He was assistant coaching some last year, I think.
Oh, did he?
Like
pop
on
it?
occasion.
Yeah. So this year they have a lot more of his time, and he coached in Massachusetts. And he's just really knowledgeable and a new voice. And sometimes kids need that in a struggling program. And Lincoln's been on like a slow, steady rise from the very bottom.
Right.
Probably winless seasons. I'm gonna
Yeah,
say,
I
a
think
few
so.
years
It
ago.
was pretty rough.
But last year, they started to show a little bit of comeback. They were 4 and 8.
4 sounds right.
Yes, 4 and 10. Sorry, and they
4 and 10.
did miss the playoffs. I remember that at the very end. They were close to getting in.
Well,
at the very bottom
problem
there.
was the teams they beat didn't win any games.
Correct.
So,
yeah.
except
And
for
I
the
haven't
games
checked
against
to
each
see
other.
what Winslow was like last year.
Winslow was really bad last year.
They were okay.
Yeah.
But I did see them beat.
So it was one of the teams they beat last year.
I saw them beat Morse in overtime.
Okay.
In a scrimmage that was well played. So they're coming a long way, and they do have an elite scorer in Bailey Brewer, who scored 5 goals in the 7-6 scrimmage I went to.
Jeez.
Lexi Houghton is now a senior. She's been playing for few years. Now in that program, Frances McGonigal Dow, same thing. She's a senior now. Amelia Starbird on defense. She's been, a starter for many years and is a 2-time captain. Her and Brewer are the captains. Yeah, they look good. Bella Collmore scored a nice goal in the game I went to. A couple of young players, Elise Lupien. She looks good. And sophomore goalie, James Neptune Benner.
Yeah, new goalie.
Yeah, one of my former lacrosse goalies also.
Mike, she's going to have,
I got to coach.
It's going to be a long way for her to go after Lucy's saves record, which is really high.
She faced a lot of shots.
Faced a lot of shots.
But their team is better. They're better on defense. They got some good young players on defense that Coach Herring is excited about. And I saw them. They look solid.
And I know they've been working very hard to try to get a youth program going.
Yeah, I didn't ask her about that, so honestly, I don't know much about it. Mm-hmm. But if they did, it's apparent because they do look better skilled. If anything, they might be lacking in like confidence, like we were talking about with teams that win, they get confident programs. So this is a very unconfident program.
Yeah,
like they expect to lose, and I think they've been a little bit loosey-goosey, like having fun and, trying. And I understand that if you're losing a lot, you don't want to take it too seriously.
Not a lot of fun.
Yeah. So, but I think having that new assistant coach that's there consistently now, I think that helps with that as well. So, yeah, they look good. I expect them to be 500 and make the playoffs.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. That might be a bold prediction, but I have coached some of these kids in lacrosse and even some of the younger ones that are coming up, and they have some good athletes. And I think the woeful days are over.
Hopefully, because I sat through a lot of those games.
Yes,
and it can be rough.
I have as well, photographing them.
Yeah,
but I photographed more with smiley faces than sad faces so far in the preseason.
Let me ask you this: in the scrimmage, at least you went to, how much improved is the knowledge of the rules by the parents? Because
not good
because it's a lot of on the sidelines, and not just Lincoln Academy's field hockey parents before you start yelling at me at Hannaford, but a lot of field hockey games, it's a lot of parents yelling, "What was that call, ref? That's a terrible call." And then turning to the person next to them going, "What's the rule there?"
Yeah, there was definitely one of those. I'm trying to remember exactly what happened, but yes, it's puzzling to many
the rules are puzzling
spectators
for field hockey, because it took me probably 4 games to figure it out.
But I think the girls now, they do have a bunch of these seniors that have been playing for years, so I think they've gotten over that hurdle as well.
The rules.
Yes, I think that's part of why they'll be better this year. And they've had this coach now for, I want to say, 4 years.
That sounds
3
right.
or 4, or
This
at
will
least.
probably be year 5, I think.
Yeah. So that, I think that continuity has helped them too. Boothbay, I think is, I'd love to see the two of them play, and they didn't last year, and I don't think they're scheduled to this year.
Not even like
But
a scrimmage?
I think it'd be a great game. I think last year Boothbay would have won it. This year, I'm not so sure. Boothbay did lose some key players. They do have some key players back. They have their leading scorer, who was a freshman last year, Mariah Smith. I saw her score 2 clutch overtime goals for a young kid. So,
nice.
So I think that they are in good shape offensively. And Tatum French is a senior co-captain this year. She's a really good basketball player.
I was going to say that's a basketball player.
But also a very good defensive field hockey player with some attitude out there.
I feel like I need a thing on here.
Very competitive.
Like a that's what she said, where I just go, "That's a basketball player," and I just hit the button on the board.
You
Pop
should.
it in.
That'd be fun.
That'd be a good effect.
Yeah. So you're familiar with her. Yeah. She's a really good competitor. And they do have other basketball players as well. Sophie White is a good player. Arabella Hodgson. She's a sophomore this year. She's going to be really good in basketball as well.
All right.
Keep an eye on that.
Make a note of that.
Yeah, she was really good as a freshman for them last year. And Zuri Smith, Mariah's sister, didn't score as much, but she's a really good midfielder, good athlete also. And and Izzy Andreasen, another good player from last year, young player, is back. And there was a player that I don't remember, Olivia Carlson, that the coaches are really high on this year, and is one of their like junior captains. So I'll have to check her out this year and see. But yeah, they look about where they were at last year. They went 5-9 in regular season. They lost in the first round of the playoffs to the state champion. I think it was Winthrop. And so probably something like that again this year. Looks like maybe 500.
There you go.
Their coach is a former Division I player at Georgetown.
Oh,
And I guess her sister, who also played at Georgetown, is assisting this year. So they do. They definitely have.
I saw that picture in the Booth Bay paper we print.
Yeah. So they definitely have some really knowledgeable coaches. And I think this is their head coach's second year. So they're still in that rebuilding process, kind of like Lincoln is, except they didn't start out as low as Lincoln did. So I think they're now about comparable, but we'll see. I wish I wish they would play each other.
Not yet to the heights of when Paula Roberts, our own Paula Roberts, was the coach. So that's a long way to go.
But Paula told me something interesting, which is that they did not have girls soccer back when she coached.
Oh, that could be part
which
of
is
it.
kind of like Booth Bay field hockey, because Booth Bay does not have soccer. They can play though for Wisconsin, and we
Right.
noted there were a couple on each roster.
Well, Paula also has the fascinating heel point story where they went something like 11-2 or 11-2-1, and they missed the tournament because they just had no heel points.
Oh my
but
God.
it was so long ago that
I wonder if they had the algorithms.
there was
right?
no internet.
Yeah.
And she had to call the players and tell them that they didn't make the playoffs.
Oh my gosh.
You go 11-2-1 or whatever it is. You assume you're going to make the playoffs. You're like, well, maybe we're the 3 seed.
Oh my
and they
gosh.
didn't make it, so she had to call them all because it wasn't.
Yeah,
there was no internet.
Making
You can't
plans,
look it up.
travel plans to go to their playoffs.
It was a different time.
Yeah, wow, that's rough.
That could not have been fun phone calls.
So moving on to golf,
All right.
just to keep things rolling here. Another kind of big success story is the Madomic golf roster.
Okay.
Like they have rebuilt that program.
By stealing goalies from the soccer team.
Yeah, or
Sure.
just players.
Yeah.
And they have all the basketball players. Actually,
Interesting.
we'll get to that in a second. It makes me wonder if this freshman, Sebastian Mank, is a basketball player. Might be.
Oh, maybe.
Anyway, we'll touch on him in a second. So last year they struggled. They were 3-7. They had a bunch of basketball players that did it for fun.
Okay.
3 of which are back, and now they're good. Not surprisingly, you play golf and you play all summer. They got hooked on it. They love
Yep.
it. So they're already off to a 2-0 start. Last year they were 0-6 to start
Oh,
their season.
well, hey.
Yeah,
Now we're talking.
right. So now we're talking. They had, how many kids is it? Like 16? Yeah, 16 kids this year.
For golf?
Yeah. Yeah. Last year they
Really?
had like 7. They barely had enough. 6 or 7. Yeah. So it's another one of those stories that out of nowhere, the coach is like, oh my gosh.
I think when I was a kid, there weren't 16 people at Madomic Valley who could tell you they had watched
Yeah,
golf,
Swing a club. Yeah.
let alone
Or what?
play golf.
Yeah.
Like before Tiger Woods came around, I would bet the over under on people at Madomic Valley who had watched golf on television would be 8.
Yeah. Right.
Just
So now
So now
maybe
16
now
on the
with all
golf
these
team.
basketball kids jumping on board and recruiting others, perhaps. But yeah, so who's that? Mason Gwynn, who's a great basketball player.
Yep. There's I
Last
hit my
year, last year he struggled his way through and got really good at he's just such a competitor that he willed himself to be good.
Huh.
And he does have a nice swing. He's a big kid.
he's in the
can hit
conversation
the
for
ball.
Mr. Basketball.
I'm not
I'm not going to
surprised.
win, but he's in the conversation
Yeah.
he might be a semifinalist.
Yeah, great athlete. So I'm excited to see him swing a club this year. Last year he was good. They actually do have a really elite classic golfer I don't know his whole background, Joseph Wilcox, but he competed in the state championship, was qualified last year, and he's one of their captains. He's usually a medalist every time they play, and the medalist is whoever had the lowest score in each match.
Okay.
Of the two teams, there's one guy that they call the medalist, whoever. And he often last year, won that honor. And already this year, I think both matches they played, he had the lowest
So the
score.
medalist is just the individual winner.
Yeah, the individual. Yeah. And they highlight that, I guess you could say.
Sure.
But so yeah, not only have they won both of their matches, but they swept them 9-0.
Really?
9-0, 9-0. And another basketball player, this should interest you, who transferred from Camden Hills,
Yeah.
Micah Fagande.
Oh.
I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce that. He's a
I
new
don't know.
guy on my radar, but I saw him play basketball this summer and looks like a really good athlete. And I had heard that he is a good golfer. So they literally got not just a basketball player, but in this case, they got an experienced
They double
golfer
dipped
that's good. Yeah.
in the transfer portal.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
So he's already made a difference. And Jaden Drost, which is another basketball player, junior or senior, I'm not sure. I think he's a senior.
Is he?
Yeah.
I was going to guess junior.
Yeah. No, he's a senior. Colin Donlin is a junior, and he's back. Last year was his first year of playing golf.
Yep.
He took his lumps as a new player, and now he's good, and towards the end, again, just from the start of the season to the end of the season last year, you could see these guys.
I think he's primed
shaving
for
off 10 strokes.
For a good basketball season, too.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a really good athlete. Then a couple other guys are back from last year, Liam Ruffner. They got this freshman, Sebastian Mank, who's competing in the matches as a varsity player as a freshman. So he's pretty good as well. So yeah, Madomic Golf is looking good, and it's going to be really fun to see them play Lincoln Academy.
Yeah.
And segueing to that, Lincoln lost their star, Callan Addix, who moved on to play college golf down in Florida now.
So he graduated.
Yeah. So Callan graduated, and their only other senior from last year graduated, Josh Azarte. He was pretty good. So they had a young team last year, and this makes it really hard for me without seeing these guys this year because I just mentioned how Gwynn got so much better and Donlin got so much better. Well, maybe these are also basketball players for Lincoln Academy. Drew Nichols, Brody Day. They were all freshmen last year.
Basketball players playing golf. What is this? Is it because Cooper Flagg plays golf now?
Is that right?
Yeah, that must be it.
That might be a new trend. They had this big young guy, Dylan Lomas, who was good last year. So it's hard for me to say how Lincoln Academy is going to be. It really depends on how much golf these guys played this summer.
Right.
And I know they play other sports. So, and I have not heard of any exciting transfers or freshmen that came into the golf program, unlike the
Or
girls'
some
cross
international
country.
students
right,
coming
which can always make a difference. So I'll be psyched to go to a Lincoln golf match next week. I forget which day I'm scheduled to do that, but that'll be fun to see. I can't imagine that they're going to have the success they had last year, where I believe they were undefeated, and they did go to states. That's going to be tough to match without their star, who was one of the best players in the state, Callan Addix. So, yeah, I almost think Madomic might have the upper hand for the first time in many, many years.
in golf. Who would have thunk it?
Yeah, we'll see.
That's crazy.
I think they square off a couple times in the season, if I recall.
They probably
correctly.
don't. Did they play head to head, or do they play like 3 or 4 teams at a go?
They play head to head.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So that'll be fun up until like states and KBSCs, and then obviously it's all the different,
right.
And you have to qualify and so forth. But who could qualify for Lincoln? I don't know. Out of that group, and Wilcox will definitely qualify for Madomic. Like he's among the best KBAC or
Sure.
just in general, like a really good golfer. So I could see him in that mix. Lincoln, it's the first year they haven't had, an elite golfer for many years.
So it'll be a work in progress.
Yeah.
All right. What's next? Are we to the?
We have volleyball.
We're the creme de la creme.
volleyball. Let's spike it.
Volleyball. All right.
Well, you had the benefit of seeing
I
some
went
volleyball
to the first ever Potomac Valley varsity volleyball, let's say, match. I don't know a lot about volleyball.
It is a match.
Which is coached. The team is coached by my brother, who wouldn't exactly say he entered this process as an expert in golf, or not in golf, in volleyball. But our editor went to the game as well, and she texted me mid-game, and she said, which of these coaches would you think was the one who didn't know anything about volleyball? Because Potomac looked really good. And they had like set plays and strategies and all sorts of stuff going on. And it was not a competitive game against Orono. And most of Orono's points came from Potomac just hitting the ball out of bounds and not from Orono doing something good.
So another Potomac success story. They've gone from
We're
nothing.
stacking them up. I have a roster here. He sent me a roster.
Oh, cool. So last year was their first season competing as a club team.
Right. They played a JV schedule.
Yeah, JV schedule, and they played one or two varsity team. I almost think Orono was,
Maybe.
I think they scrimmaged them and won last year.
Well, they
because I
definitely
remember they
beat
were
them.
really excited about it. They played a real team, and
They definitely beat them yesterday.
yeah. So, and I'm not surprised. They have some really good athletes that play basketball or other
got
sports.
basketball players.
And, basketball players, big and tall.
That's the key here. If you got to have basketball players to be good in other sports.
Well, especially volleyball, because you can get up over the net.
It can help
That
if you
helps.
have, someone who can jump really high.
And they have the setter is a key position, and I'm not sure who's doing that for them this year. If she's back, they did graduate a couple players, but they only had like one or two seniors last year. Not surprisingly.
I'm looking at the roster and I'm trying to figure out if I can remember the uniform numbers. I want to say Rianne Simmons, is that the setter? Because she's
Could be.
She's a freshman.
Yeah, freshman, really good athlete.
Yeah.
I saw her in the photo they sent over.
Is she also a
celebrating their
basketball
win.
player?
Yes.
Yeah. I
Yep.
knew it.
Yep. Softball.
But yeah,
in
they
particular.
have Sienna Lee,
Really good. Yep.
who is
good
a
basketball
sophomore and had a pretty good tournament game in the game they lost to Oceanside.
Oh yeah. Scored
And-
some key baskets at
Yeah.
the end, if I recall correctly.
Most
in overtime.
most importantly, they have Brooke McNelly, who scored the last 5 points, I think, in the third set
Nice.
to close it out. So that's probably the first time I've said her name correctly and not in a very long time, because we call her Brookie Trout.
Nice. Well, I see.
Did he send you the?
Yes, I
you
see
too?
a lot of names from last year. Maggie Bruno was really good last year. I can imagine that she had a nice match yesterday. I'll be seeing them this week. I think it's Monday. They play Wiscasset, so I'll be covering that game. Ari Kennard had a good year last year for them.
Okay.
Paige Gerlach plays a lot. I know she had a strong season. Abigail Kopishki was good last season. She's a sophomore this year, so she was just a freshman.
I'm trying to
big,
remember. I should pay
tall
more
kid.
attention to uniform numbers.
Yeah. So looking at this roster and what I saw last year, they only, like I said, they only had one senior. She was pretty good. Maddie Wilshire graduated.
They only have 2 this year. Oh, 3. Sorry, 3.
Is there? Yeah, 3. So they were a very young team, a tall team. Like they got really good size. I mean,
Potomac-
not surprisingly, I guess.
Potomac just has size out of everywhere.
Yeah.
And I've had people ask me, they're like, what is going on over there where
Yeah.
you have all these 6-foot girls? I'm like, I don't know, man. It's the clams, maybe.
They do this. Olivia McMurrin was good last year also. As far as, scoring and being on the score sheet a lot. And Casey Pinkham, is she on there?
Yeah, she's on there.
Yeah. Yeah, so they it's going to be interesting. They're in Class C. Wiscasset's also in Class C.
Oh, so
they're
we
going to
could-
have a little rivalry going.
Could we get a playoff game?
Boy, I don't know. Anytime it's your first varsity season, it's so hard to say, right? But
Yeah, I'm watching it yesterday. I'm going, they look pretty good.
yeah,
And Orono looks not good.
yeah.
But I'm like, I don't know, like, how good is Orono compared to everybody else?
Yeah, which
How
is
good
kind of fun, right? Because it is it seems wide open. It's a newer, growing sport in Maine in general, so I think you can make an impact within a couple seasons, and that's clearly what they're potentially on track for here. So
And Ryan now has the winningest record in Madomic sports history.
Undefeated.
He's undefeated. He's
undefeated all time. But we'll see what
highest winning
happens.
percentage.
So the exciting thing, and this will be a good segue for us, is they play Wiscasset on Monday, and Wiscasset is coached by Julie Jones, who is the Maine All-Star coach for 16 under kids in Maine out of Saco. So she's a really good coach, very knowledgeable. Her daughters played Division I volleyball, 2 of them this year. So they're going to be good, and that'll be a good match, I think.
all right.
And then I think that'll be a good measuring stick for Madomic and for Wiscasset, for that
Right.
matter. Both of them are new programs.
Get a sense of just what's going on here.
Yeah, so Wiscasset had 2 seasons of club play before going varsity this year, where Madomic just had the 1 year.
Oh, so this is their first year too.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So that match on Monday, I believe it is, will be pretty fun to see.
What time
And
is that for the
they
people?
graduated a couple people as well. So
I'm putting you on the spot with the schedule.
I don't think I have it right in front of me.
All right.
I believe it's at 4:00, and it's at Madomic, I believe.
4:00.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So
Some of us have jobs.
yeah, that might be tough to get to. But that will be, that'll be exciting. A player, just jump into really quickly on Wiscasset. Olivia West is a really good player for them. She's their best player for Wiscasset. So
Olivia West versus Brooke McNally. Battle of the Titans.
yeah,
New
Crashing the
of,
net.
of the new volleyball programs in their first year.
yeah.
So the battle for Lincoln County supremacy.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to have all of a sudden 2 new teams in the county. I've really enjoyed watching the sport. The kids, it's a really team oriented. Just the vibe is very upbeat and positive. After every point, everybody gets together. Hey, they're all high fiving and stuff.
They did seem all very happy to be
Right?
there.
Yeah.
Except for near the end, the Orono players didn't look very happy to be there.
Yeah, take a couple balls to the face.
Yeah,
a
you're
couple
like,
spikes over the net.
how long did we drive for this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might have an impact, but
That can be rough.
but in general, it's a fun sport. If folks out there listening haven't checked it out,
I noticed
Might be
the
something you
bench was
wanna-
very engaged the whole time for Madomic, which is that's always a thing you look for, are
Yeah.
the kids in the bench are they leaning back with their arms crossed, but they were all very
yeah, I think they really
Forward.
got out of the gate successfully with a new program. Evan Ryan, coach, really experienced basketball coach.
someone who knows so much about volleyball
and loves
then-
sports and,
yeah.
and competition. You know what I mean? It's not like they picked up some, random.
It's not like it was
person
it was that this is whose father can do it, but it's not like they picked up somebody who's works at a bank
And doesn't
has
know
never
anything
coached
about
before.
volleyball. Yeah.
And it's just roll the ball out and
Yeah.
you guys have fun because you got to have an adult here.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
get the impression, and same thing on the Wiscasset side. They have an amazing, very experienced volleyball coach. So it'll be fun to see how these 2 programs grow, and I do think they're going to continue to grow and attract good athletes, both programs, because
see
I think they're going to have early success. These aren't going to be 1 in 13 teams,
Right.
I think my guess is they'll both be around the middle of the pack. And make playoffs,
Sure.
just based on what I saw last year unfortunately, that's the one sport I haven't gotten out to yet, but I will next week.
We like have no idea what a good volleyball team looks like.
Yeah, I'm still learning.
Like
Same thing with that. Like,
if we had been smart, we would have gone to like the state championship game or something. So we'd be like, okay, here's the bar.
yeah,
Here's what we're looking for here. And then when we see them, we're like, okay, this is how far they have to go. Because I'm going to assume the state championship game is not going to be Wiscasset versus Madomic Valley or the regional final or whatever.
we don't think so, but
Probably not.
we don't know yet for sure.
Don't get mad at me. Do not freezing cold takes me
Yeah.
if I'm wrong, but I would presume not
I
in our
know
first year.
both of these teams have very successful club records playing JV teams, of course, but they
a whole
they
different
won the
story.
majority of their games, both of them. So yeah, looks good.
All right. Is that it? Are we done?
We covered all of the high school sports.
All of the high school sports.
Yeah.
Look at that. We should mention, since we're doing fall sports, that our colleague Mike Lee is organizing the Tour de Gourde 5K during Pumpkin Fest,
Oh, cool.
which is a new 5K during
I can't believe
during
they've
Pumpkin
never had
Fest.
that
Yeah,
before.
I was like, why don't you? Yeah, it seems
Yeah.
like a no-brainer. So people should sign up for that. And if people are gluttons for punishment, the Waldoboro Half Marathon is September 20th. It is the hardest half marathon in New England. Trust me, it's definitely hard.
A lot of hills.
It's brutal. It's brutal.
lot of vertical.
People yell at me as they're running it, because I am the race director, and it's a lot of cursing me out at mile 8 when they run by. And then they have the hard part after that.
and they get a beer though, right?
There's a beer at the end. Yeah. So if you are if you like to run short distances, there's the Tour de Gourde. If you like to run really long distances, there's the Waldoboro Half Marathon. And people can read you in the Lincoln County News every week.
And if you like to cheer and just go, you're almost there. Go, go, go. You can do that.
At
on
like
the
mile
sideline.
2.
Yeah. Right. That's where I'll be.
I had someone yell that to me in a race, and they're like, or they yelled at me in a race. They're like,
it up.
What would Shailene Woodley do, or some elite runner? And I was like, they would be done. They would be sitting down right now is what they would be doing. Because,
Yeah.
oh boy.
It's just all about getting out there.
All right. Yeah.
Right.
All right. That'll do it, I think.
Yeah. Looking forward to the season. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's some potential champions out there. We'll see. See what
if we
happens.
can keep the seasonal state championship streak going.
Yeah. Right.
Because we had
It's possible.
one in the spring, and then we get one in the fall. We didn't have one in the winter, did we?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Tennis, the girls' tennis in the spring. They
Tennis in
want
the
to.
spring.
Yeah.
And then like Lincoln Academy won cross country in the fall or something.
I don't think they won it last fall.
Okay.
We might not have had a fall champion, actually.
All right.
Now
Well,
that I
let's
think
start
about
a
it.
streak then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's do it.
Yeah. All right.
All right. That's a wrap.
Thank you for listening to Beyond the Broadsheet, a podcast by the Lincoln County News. This podcast is produced by Lucas McNelly and Maya Zewert. Tyler Davis of Tyality Productions provides production support. Our theme music is by Stu Mahan and LCN Associate Editor / Bassist Sherwood Olin. The Lincoln County News hits newsstands across the county every Wednesday afternoon. And you can also access our work online at lcnme.com. If you have a question, comment, or suggestion, please email us at info@lcnme.com. As always, we're grateful for the support of our readers and listeners in Lincoln County and beyond. It's been great catching up today, and we'll talk with you again soon.